Well, the name is Ned Egan, and I was born up the road in Dunamegan in County Kilkenny, and spent a good bit of my young life until I was about 17 there. I went over to England and worked around the lads in Wimpy and all the outfits in England. Went off to the Middle East then fighting and came back, and then went down to Australia for many years and came back to Ireland in 1980, set up doing copper etchings and writing songs and drinking and running them up, and back to Australia a few times and finished up over here in this little house. Lovely landlord, having a very good time, age of 74, no intention of dying yet. A Mullinavat tea making ritual. Basically, the reason that I started writing serious poetry was because I was going to do copper etchings and I needed poetry to put on the copper etchings. And as Macmillan's handled all Yeats's poetry and I loved his, I couldn't get hold of theirs. So consequently I decided to write my own, being a bit full of myself. And the first few that I wrote people liked. So some of my friends down in Australia said, and those are fine for your copper etchings. So I went on then, and I kept on writing, and I did enough for a little book, Memories of a Leprechaun, over there. And I had a great friend of mine down there, Maurice Toohey, who did the illustrations, wonderful illustrations on it. And I brought that out in 1980, published in Australia, and it was well received. But as regards how often I would sit down to write poems, I'd only do it when the urge would come upon me to do it. And I couldn't sit down and write all day long and say I'm going to write a poem and go off and do it, unless I really felt like doing it. Well, the recent CD that I produced called Nora was called after my mother, and I have a great veneration for her and her academic thinking, intellectuality. So I thought when I did find a man who could do a good job on narration, I would get it down on the CD before I died. I'm 74, so I get it down and get them all together. So we did this, and they all came together, and I didn't write even one specifically for the CD. They were all there over the years, waiting for the right man to narrate them, and that was Brendan Corcoran. So now I will narrate one of the poems myself. My voice is a little bit ticky at present, a frog in my throat, but I'll do my best with it, okay? This poem is Passing Clouds. It's number 4 on the CD, and it's about a young lad, my own case probably, lying in a field looking at clouds that passed years and years ago, when there were no tractors and motor cars screaming around the place. Passing clouds. I lie in the meadows of waving grass, and with drowsy eyes are some eyes on the marching ranks of the clouds that pass on their way to the far horizon. Now they could be the shrouds of the sailing ships that take sailors far over the water, there to kiss the face and the bright red lips of some African chieftain's daughter. Or perhaps they're the millions of tiny souls of sweet children who died unborn, and who drift forever in silver shoals from Kilkenny to Old Cape Horn. And of course they could be a heavenly flock of lambs with their white fleece gleaming, or some angel soldiers who've come to lock me away in my world of dreaming. Now the evening comes, and upon my lips falls the dew like a magical potion, and I drift away in those sleepy ships, far away on the cloudy ocean. Well, the next poem is called Hymn. just one word, him. And it's written in the context that I was a member of a fighting force down the Middle East for many years. I was also a member of Sinn Féin. I know things from both angles. And I can sympathise with soldiers who are doing something they've been badly paid to do. In other words, go off and kill people. This is about a soldier up in the north. They're generally drawn from the poor communities in England, given 10 or 12 quid a week and sent over to kill the paddies. And some of them weren't all that bad. They were just the same as us, trying to make their way. It was all they could do, the only way they could make money after their coal mining was destroyed. It's still the same today. Afghanistan, around there, still the same people. So him is about a soldier who goes into a pub in Crossmaglen. He goes in, he has his drinks there, and trying to be accepted, and never is, of course, accepted, like, you know. You pay your money and you take your choice. So I call this poem Him. I'll read it for you now. A Liverpool soldier at Crossmaglen comes in for a drink here, and now and then he'll stand and he'll call for a drink for the house. But the pints go flat, and the lonely scouse goes home to his fortress grey and grim. The hill stands unrippled, for he is him. He's Saturday night in the crowded bar. He's standing his own with his lonely jar. As the Guinness gurgles so black and sleek, from its silver tablets it seems to speak. Raise your pale lips to my moon's rich rim. Forget where I was and that you are him. Unseasonal weather and iron frost. Lay hard on the north, it was Pentecost. The churches were full and the counter bare. Two strangers walked in from the cold night air. He knew as he fell, and his eyes grew dim. Death would change nothing, he'd still be him. Some years I might write 10 poems, other years I mightn't write 2. But I'd vary that. I've written books and things like that, so I'd fill my time in doing copper and writing books. But the poetry, I love the poetry. But as I said, I would only really write poetry when I really feel like writing it, because a lot of poets produce great poetry, but they also produce a lot of rubbish. Even W.B. Yeats, some beautiful poetry, but he still published some complete old junk if you read the full anthology of his work. A lot of it is fit to be thrown over the hedge, like, you know. So he should have stuck to the great stuff, and I'd stick to the reasonably good and leave the bad stuff out.